Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Sophia Parola with Garden State Film Festival, and we are talking about the short film Darwin, Fick in New York. I have two amazing, talented actors with me who were also producers on this film. We have Kristen Samuelson and Eve Austin. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this film. Before we get into it, Kristen, can you give everyone a little synopsis about Darwin Fick in New York?
Okay. It's a little unusual. Um, I play Colleen Coles, a world famous author, the female version of Stephen King, who has developed writer's block. And so, out of her frustration from that, somehow she meets this mysterious woman who makes an offer to her that it's going to help her finish her book. And what ensues from all that is interesting and a different perspective on how you might solve that problem. Let's just say it that way.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love
and
that little
basically,
teaser.
how
No,
how
no,
far
no spoilers.
how
Yes.
far would you go to get what
Yeah,
you want?
how
Hmm.
far would I go?
And I think everyone can relate to that because everyone wants a little something in life, even if they're not a writer.
What
We
are
can
you
relate
willing
to
to give
this.
up to get
Right,
that? Yeah.
right, right.
Exactly. And like we said, Kristen, you play Colleen. Eve, you play Darwin Fick. So we're going to talk about these characters. But first, I want to talk about how you guys were both producers. So, how did you come onto this project?
Well, Kristen and I met through a group, and we are filmmakers. We wanted to make more films, and as much as possible, do something that will um, that will highlight a certain generation. Um, in terms of age but the piece itself is ageless. At any rate, we got together. We wanted to do a piece. Kristen was going to write it. We worked on it for a bit, and then we decided that we wanted to go to a more seasoned writer. So we found Joe Benedetto, who has written quite a few major films, some that are being made right now. And he pitched us this idea. And we thought, hey, sounds good to us. Let's do it. We
Right.
just want to keep on making films and entertaining the audiences and giving a message, if there is one, to them. So.
Absolutely. Kristen, do you want to add anything on that about how you got involved in this project?
I'm just gonna. I have this sort of lighthearted side to me. I'm gonna say that we were making a chick flick for older women,
Great one,
and
yeah.
this is sort of what the way it turned out because Joe had this idea for a storyline, and we liked it. It worked.
Wow. And so you, Kristen, play Colleen. Eve, you play Darwin. They're two very different characters, and they're very complex. Did we know that Kristen was going to play Colleen and Eve, you're going to play Darwin when Joe pitched this idea to you? Like, how did we
He
come up with
asked
who's
us
playing who?
he asked us before the script was written. He said, which type of role do you wanna play?" And we chose what we wanted to play. And then he wrote it based on not well, based on what he had in his imagination. But basically, yes, we chose the type of role we wanted to play because when we make our own films, it's great to be able to play out of type,
Absolutely.
so it's, like, better to be a little unexpected, and you never know where it's gonna end up and how you're gonna be seen, but you have the, ability to play something that you may not normally be cast in.
Of course. And you two are working actresses for a while. You've been in some amazing things. Have you guys ever played roles like this before? Was this something that you were familiar with? Was it really out of your comfort zone?
Oh,
Kristen, you want to start us
well,
off?
I'll say I have not played a famous author before, and uh, but I do tend to get these more sort of upscale ladies who are um, actually Colleen is less difficult. Often I get ladies who are pretty difficult. you know, troublemakers. I think it's my jawline that I get these things. It's just like I look sort of edgy. So this was like,
Intimidating jawline.
yeah, it's like okay, a determined lady. But
Beautiful.
this was actually a more fun role for me because she was not on the top of her game.
Mm. And
Yeah.
Eve, what about you? Was Darwin Fick out of your
I've
comfort zone?
yeah, I've had a long career and I've played pretty much a lot of different types, but in the normal world of television and film, I don't. I mean, I have a lot of variety to the work that I've done. So this one was it was a little bit different. Let's put it that way. It was a
Mm.
little bit different, and it gave me something to aim for.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. And so, without giving anything away, in this film, Colleen, Kristen, your character goes through a little writer's block. And I think it's very common, no matter what career you're in, to kind of have that block, and you just can't get what you want to inside of you out. So I'm wondering, you guys are in a competitive career. You've had long, successful careers. You're still working today. Anytime when you go through that dull period, like some kind of block, what gets you out of that? What keeps you lit? What keeps that passion ignited?
Eve, you
Or
go
the-
first.
Uh, my passion has been ignited by this career since forever. Um, I love great writers. It always begins with a story. So for me, uh, being constantly working and being in class, it's not just the work that we get paid for, that we take when we don't have as many options as some of the people that have a better known career, let's say. However, uh, I love people, I love humanity. I particularly like metaphysics. This has a lot of the metaphysics aspect to it. I lost track of the question. What was what was your question? I'm sorry.
I love it because you're still answering it. Yeah, what keeps you lit no matter any dull periods
I
you
think
have in your
people.
career? What keeps you going?
People. I think
Mm,
people, other human beings, classes, constant workshops, meeting people, and and spreading whatever it is that I feel I have to give out into the world, which I hope will be a healing message. This is not
mm,
necessarily a character that gives a healing message, gives messages, but at any rate, what keeps me lit is the constant action in this business. There's
yeah.
always something to do. I love the people in it. I like to nurture the younger people that are just starting. There's room for all of us, and I'm just absolutely 1000% thrilled that I chose this as a career, and
Yes.
it just motivates me to get up every day. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And you should be doing something in that gives you that light, that
Oh, yeah.
motivation. I love that. And taking
Yeah.
classes and meeting people. Thank you so much, Eve. I love that. Kristen, what keeps your passion ignited?
Well, um, two things. And I'm with Eve. I take classes regularly. And actually, this year I started going back and taking like acting 101 kind of class. And it was so invigorating. It just brought me back to the center of why I wanted to do this in the first place. Um, the other thing with me is I was an opera singer in my first career, and I also directed some operas and musicals. So this is
Wow.
a second. This is a second. Second career. It's along the same lines. Obviously, I'm acting, performing, but what I remember is that when I was a kid, my parents didn't want me to take acting classes, and I
Mm,
wasn't allowed to do this. So whenever I have a bad day where I feel like I'm worn out or maybe I can't do this or whatever, I remember, you're getting to do what you always wanted to do. It's taken a long time to get here, but you're doing it. And that
absolutely.
always cheers me up. And I don't know.
Oh man, you both are so inspiring. And Eve, you mentioned too, like you love coaching the younger generation. And I would love to, I'm an actor myself. I'm sure we have other actors who will be watching this. I would love to hear, selfishly, I want to ask for some advice. What have
Oh,
you learned in your career that you think young actors should really take?
that it basically, and I pretty sure that most of everyone watching has heard this before, but I think that acting is a journey. I also acting was my, I guess, third career. Could you call motherhood a career? I'm not sure, but I was advertising director at Diane von Furstenberg. So I was in the fashion and advertising world. And I switched, and again, it's similar to Kristen. My parents also, maybe it's generational. I don't know. They certainly didn't want me to be an actor, and neither did my husband. And recently, I lost him to COVID. So 2 years ago, I started upping the ante more. Um, but that has nothing to do with the younger folks. Uh, it's a dream, and it's a dream that I think everybody should try if that's what they want to do. And if it's not for them, then you exit. But it is a journey, not a destination.
Mm.
And so you have to go according to your own plan. There is no answer to becoming a star. You know, I don't know if everybody knows, but it's like in our industry, in SAG, for example, maybe 3% of the people in SAG make over a certain amount a year, and those are our movie stars. And then after that, you've got 97% of us that basically have extra jobs, you know, have all kinds of ways to support the love that we have. So you will need an extra job, and you will need to have patience. And the best thing to do is to train, to meet other people, to volunteer to be on sets. There are so many ways to go about it so that you're around the business. And you know, it may not be, you don't go for the success, you go for
Mhm.
what's in your heart, what you learn, and what you can express about yourself. And I think help other people be more informed about their own emotions as well.
Yes, yes. And my condolences to you, Eve.
Thank you.
And Kristen, any advice?
Um, a lot of, everything that Eve said is absolutely true. I think the hardest thing for me has been to find out who I really am and bring that person into the acting, because I feel like it's very tempting to try to be a good actor, or to try to be, you start emulating some of the stars, and you can't really be them anyway because you're not. And I think that's one of the big things to keep in perspective, that even though you're not earning a living doing this completely, um, all of those experiences that you're having doing whatever you do, whether you become a parent or whether you work a full-time job or whatever. I've met actors that do all kinds of things, lawyers, CEOs, um, janitors, whatever your experience is, that's going to inform your acting and make your acting stronger. So
Mm.
I think it's important to remember that those things are an important part of your life, not just, oh God, I have to do a job so I can earn enough money so I can be an actor.
Absolutely. Kristen, did you feel that you pulled a lot from yourself to play Colleen, or did you kind of take stuff from other people that you knew, or other characters?
No, I really pulled from myself, because she's frustrated with this, having the
Yeah.
writer's block. And I've definitely had a lot of frustrating experiences at various points in my life. So I just went with what I knew, how that
Yeah.
makes me feel. And at least that's what I was aiming for.
Oh, I love that. I love that honesty too. And you guys both produced this film. I want to ask you what goes into producing films in general. And when it came to Darwin Fick, do we run into any challenges? Like, what went into producing this?
The-
No, nothing went wrong. It was
Like,
all
smooth
perfect.
as can be, everything exactly as you expected.
Basically, I'm sorry. I got lost in Kristen's answer. I thought it was
No
cute.
problem. And also, I have this thing where I ask like three questions and I'm very confusing. So I'm sorry. Basically, what went into producing this
Oh,
short film? And if you guys ran into any challenges?
okay. Well, there's always challenges in filmmaking,
Mhm.
always, and I think that's part of the beauty of it because it's kind of the surprise, and then getting through it, so you feel like you've accomplished a lot. I do want to say that I think it's really important for people that are listening that anybody that is an actor tries to create their own work. You have an imagination, create something that moves you, that you think you want to tell the world. You can write your own. If not, you can get into a group. But in terms of producing, well, I've been producing for a number of years now. And I find that that's the only way that's, you asked, how do you keep active in all of this? And that is one major way to do it, because it is getting your heart out onto the screen, and you have the control over it versus somebody hiring you. You can't sit in your house and hope that somebody will just hire you. So you put things out into the world that are going to be seen and make a change, and get you seen as well as the story that you're presenting. It's the only thing that I know of where you have a little bit of control over
Yeah.
the material. So producing it obviously is not just putting money into it, which we did, but and Joe was also a producer along with us, because he did the line producing, meaning, every little detail that's involved. Very hard to act and do that. I just did a feature, and
Mhm.
very hard to act and be the producer at the same time. It's two hats, but it's certainly doable. It gives you back the control that you have as a human being and what you want to say to the world.
Oh, wow. Kristen, did you feel that control as well, producing Darwin and being one of the leads in it?
Well, it's definitely hard producing and acting. It's wearing two hats at the same time. Thank heaven, most of the production work for me was pre-production, and then there were things post-production. I tried as much as possible on the actual shoot days to put the blinders on. And and you have to sort of be able to do that. It is challenging, and things go wrong. You have discussions with, especially with three producers on this, discussions about how should we spend the money for this? What should we do about this? What should we do? People have to agree on these things, and sometimes it wasn't easy. Um, Sometimes there wasn't an agreement, so somebody just had to do something. You know, it's but it's human nature. And definitely, I've worked on as a producer on a couple of other films, and there's always going to be something that goes wrong, and you're at the last minute going to have to go,
Right.
what are
You
we
got to
going to
be
do? And then
prepared.
but you do it. You figure it out. It's like the rest of life, when something comes up, you deal with it.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, we're running in the last minute in this interview. So I really want to ask you guys how you heard about Garden State Film Festival, and how does it feel to have Darwin Fick in New York at this year's 21st Garden State Film Festival?
Well, I have known about Garden State Film Festival for a long time. I'm a huge admirer of the festival. I think that the product that comes out of there is amazing. The people that run it are fantastic. I know some of them over the years. The mission of the festival is, it's just an amazing mission, because and they are very let's say, not critical, that's not the right word. They're very choosy about what they take, and
Yeah.
I think that's important, because as an audience going there, you want to get the very best.
Mhm.
So I'm extremely honored. This is my first time in the festival. So
Woohoo.
yes, I mean that I have a film in it, and I'm very excited about it. I'm delighted to be there. I think it is the premier festival in New Jersey.
Yes.
Other film festivals have taken me in. I shouldn't say that, but it's a
They know it. We all know it.
yeah. Well, we do. But to say
Oh,
it outwardly,
amazing.
I'm gonna get slammed now.
No, no, no. They won't hear it. We won't
Anyway,
tell anyone you said that, but I'm
no,
honored
but
that you
yeah,
said it. I
I
love
think
Garden State Film Festival. And welcome on your first year, and you're going to be at the
thank you.
screening, right?
Yes, yes, of
Ah,
course.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. And Kristen, how does it feel to be in Garden State Film Festival? Are you familiar with the festival?
I am, because the last film I produced, I actually wrote and starred in. Extradition was in the festival 2 years ago, but it was right as the pandemic started, and it was done virtually. So I'm so excited this time to be able to come in person
Yes.
and see all the other people there and watch all the other films with real people there.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much for coming back. Congratulations to this year and 2 years ago. Congratulations to you both. I really hope I get to meet you at the festival this year. Let me tell everyone watching how they can see Darwin Fick in New York, because definitely should check it out. It will be playing Saturday, March 25th at the Berkeley Hotel in the Continental Room in the film block 2:45 to 4:45 p.m. So definitely check it out. Perhaps meet Kristen and Eve there.
I hope so. Thank you so much for the interview and the wonderful questions.
Thank you
Nice to
both
meet
so
you.
much. It has been so inspiring and wonderful to talk to you guys. And congratulations on all your successes today and in the future. Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sophia.
See you at the festival.
See you at the
Bye.
festival. Bye-bye.
Bye.